Chuki beat.
Who's typing? If you're going to type or vape, hey, welcome back to B2B, Back to Basics with DIY Mixers Crew. I'm your host, Shake and Vape 007, along with Folk Art. Also joining us is Novus Mixer David, a.k.a. Spade Drop 187. If you enjoy this show, give us a like and make sure you subscribe to the Crew's channel to get updates on live shows and events. Okay, so if you guys and gals have any questions out there in the chat, be sure to tag us at B2B or DMC's fine, whatever you guys feel like doing. So real quick, before we get started, I want to do a recap of last week's episode. We pretty much just covered the basic supplies. These are our recommendations based on us testing them. The companies that we use, we think that they're the best out there on the market. We feel that they're the cleanest, best price supplies on the market right now for DIY. So first and foremost, we're just going to go through them real quick before we get on with today's show, just to give you a little recap on what we were talking about last week. If you guys didn't catch, I'm going to switch cameras for you guys. So first off, we talked about supplies. We got a palm-based vegetable glycerin, okay, also known as VG. Okay, we talked about this. This is a component that goes into your e-liquid that you're going to be making. Next up, we have propylene glycol, also known as PG, propylene glycol. So you got PG and VG. Okay, so basically, where to get those? As I would start off with maybe about 500 to 1,000 mils. That's like a half liter or a liter of each, to keep the cost down when you guys just start mixing out there. So our recommended suppliers for those are bullcityflavors.com, DIYvaporsupply.com, and Essential Depot. Next up, we got flavors. We talked about the first 25. Basically, those flavors that we talked about are just some of the basic mainstays that a lot of mixers seem to use out in the community on recipes. Just get yourself some flavors. We suggest only starting out with maybe 10 mil samplers. Then again, same suppliers. We go to bullcityflavors.com, DIYvaporsupply.com. Whether you guys choose to, as a new mixer, if you guys choose to mix by weight or volume, the recommendations that we have is the AWS 501 scale. You can pick one of these up at Amazon.com. They run about $25. If you have Amazon Prime, you get free 2-day shipping on that. And also, if you guys decide to mix by volume, Bull City Flavors, I think they have a good array of syringes that you guys can purchase from bullcityflavors.com. You got your standard 30 mil syringe. You got one that's a 3 mil syringe. You can take it all the way down to a 1 mil syringe. So there's a different variety of syringes that you can also purchase if you guys decide to mix by volume instead of weight. Also, same thing with bottles. You can hit up bullcityflavors.com, hit up some 30 mil bottles. You can get those from there. If you guys are going to buy in bulk on bottles, Glass Bottle Depot, I think it is, Folk Art. You can buy those at that site also. Lastly, We discussed nicotine, which is one of the things that you're going to be using essentially in DIY e-liquid making. We choose at DIY Mixers Crew, we choose Liquid Barn. They use the Nick Select nicotine. This is super clean nicotine. We love it. This is great nicotine. Then again, you can purchase it in bulk, but being a new mixer, you probably only want to start out with maybe 250 mils of Nick. This is actually a 500 mil bottle of Nick, and me being an advanced mixer, I've probably had this probably for 2 months already, and I still got about a quarter left, and I probably mix a shit ton of e-liquid. So, a 500 mil bottle is going to last you probably six to 8 months. So start off with like a 250 mil bottle of nicotine. Last but not least, make sure, and this is why I'm wearing gloves, make sure you guys out there that are mixing, be aware of the dangers of nicotine. Keep it away from children and pets, and always wear protective gloves. We use the 5 mil nitro gloves. You can pick them up at Harbor Freight, harborfreight.com sells them. I mean, you might be able to pick them up at another retailer, but this is where I usually buy them from. So, some of the codes, exclusive discount codes that we actually have for you guys out there that are just starting out, with some of the mainstays that we go to, like with Liquid Barn. If you visit www.liquidbarn.com, use exclusive code Mixers Crew, you get 15% off your total order. You get free shipping over $50, which is pretty awesome. Bull City Flavors, use the code DMC6, get 6% off your total order, and free shipping over $75, guys. So hopefully I covered some of the basics that we talked about last week. This week, so basically what we're going to do this week is we are going to talk about mixing apps and websites that you guys can use to get started in your mixing endeavor. So, Folkart, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
All right, so before you start mixing recipes, you need to understand the e-juice calculators. And one of the best that I've found, and there's a lot more to it than just a calculator too, is all the flavors. They have a lot of different features. They have an inventory section where you can input all of your flavors and keep track of them. They have the option to make your recipes public so everybody can see them, and which is kind of nice. So I think that's probably where you need to start before you actually start mixing, is to understand the calculator and see where everything goes in the different fields and things. So
I have a question. Sorry to cut you off, bro. But all
fine.
the flavors, is that something you have to have an account for?
You can sign up for free. You can have, I think it's 2 recipes at a time with the free service. But if you subscribe to it, it's only like $1.99 a month. I mean, it's really cheap, and it allows you to do as many recipes as you want, and it also allows you to do what's called batch mixing, which we can get into that later in another show. But it's well worth the price. It's well worth the price. So just guys out there, just do it. You'll love it. So I think now we're just gonna actually go to All the Flavors website and take a look at it. Kind of walk you through how to input your flavors and see what you can mix with your flavors. David, you want to share that?
Yeah, I'll screen share, but real quick before we move on to that, I kind of blew through the introduction. How you guys doing today? We know it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, so happy holidays to you guys out there in the community, and you new mixers that are joining us today. So how you doing today, Folk and Dave? You doing good?
I'm doing good. I'm wore out, man. I've been busy. But
that's cool. Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm taking off, and I'm gonna fill my belly with turkey and ham and stuffing and all that good stuff.
That big old cut.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Dave? How you doing, Spade? You doing pretty good, buddy?
Yeah, man. I'm on the same page. Had a lot of family in the last week or whatever, so I'm trying to slow back down and catch me back to my own life pace. So it's a little hectic, but I'm doing good.
What's the weather like out there in Vegas, brother?
Hey, baby, it's nice and cool. It's good riding weather, and pretty cold at night though.
Yeah, well, it was friggin' ice snowing today here in Pittsburgh. It was pretty cold. Pretty cold. So basically, you know, we're talking about some mixing apps out there and websites that we work with on a day in and day out basis, guys. For you new mixers, you novice mixers out there. So basically, you know, this is what we recommend in our crew. All of us have All the Flavors accounts, ATF for short, alltheflavors.com. We feel that it's a very user-friendly, easy interface to use. So I am going to go ahead and screen share you guys real quick, and I'm going to show you this site. So basically what's going to happen is Folkart is going to walk us through signing into an account.
Yeah. So to sign to get a subscription to All the Flavors, you have to sign in with a Gmail account or a Twitch account. And there's some other ones. I generally suggest you know, if you don't have a Gmail account, get one and purchase the $2 a month subscription to it, and just log in with that. If you don't want to spend that money, you can do the free version. You can still log in with a Gmail account. So just log in with your Gmail account, and David, did you enter the right?
Yeah, I did, but for some reason, I don't know why it's logging me into my private account here. Let's see here. Let me log back out. It's automatically signed me into my account for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay.
Cause it's asking me if I don't want to log in, it's going to cost me 50 cents, which not a big deal. I just don't understand why that automatically signs you in. Signed up successfully. It's logging me back in for some reason. So basically, this is what we can do. We did set up an account for Spade. And it's actually not even letting me sign in. So I guess the way I have my settings set up in my account, it automatically signs me up. So basically what it does, okay, is this is a screen, guys, that it's going to come up on All the Flavors when you want to sign in. So basically there's an upgrade button up here that you can upgrade to what Folkart was talking about. If you wanted to pay the $1.99 a month for the upgrade, you know, to actually upload more than 2 recipes at a time. So basically what you do is you will create a username and password, whether it be, if you're going to be using it, you see here, I'm scrolling down, you have sign in with Google, you can sign in with Facebook, Twitter, Steam, and Twitch. So either one of these accounts will work for you to sign into alltheflavors.com. I choose Google because it's the easiest, because I'll remember my email address and my password. So basically what you want to do is you sign in, and it'll ask you for your credentials, and it will take you into your account that you have. Now, this is the account dashboard on alltheflavors.com. It's pretty easy to navigate. As you can see here, it has a flavors button, a recipes, and it has a more button, help, menu. Okay, so down here it has all your account information. I'm assuming that there's redeem codes. I don't know if Q hands out codes for something, maybe for a free month. I have no clue. Yeah. It gives you your account information. It says public, my username, shows you how many credits I have. And basically what this is down here, guys, for you new mixers out there, it's something that you probably really don't want to worry about until you're releasing recipes. Basically what this is here is when you submit your recipe and share it to the public, Q has some kind of thing in there where it acquires credits for you that you can use to do like customized borders and stuff like that to showcase your recipes on All the Flavors. Again, down here, it gives you all your account information, this, that, and the other. It tells you your annual subscription, which I get. You can go month to month or annual. I actually go with a annual subscription, and mine's going to be expiring in 4 months, and it should automatically re-up itself. I know he was having problems. I think it was with PayPal, but you can have a was it PayPal?
Actually, the only way he can accept money now is through PayPal.
He can.
Yeah, he had problems with some other credit card companies or something other. So if you don't have PayPal, you can't get it. You have to have a PayPal account.
Okay, so you have to have a PayPal account for that. Graham. Okay, yeah, hit him up on Discord, Graham, about that. I'm in the middle of doing something. I'm sorry. But real quick, so basically, this is, like I said, this is where you sign in. Now, up here, what's cool about this application and why we recommend this app is that you can use it on your device, like your cell phone, like your Android device, whether it be your Android device, whether it be your Apple device. Now, I know that he has an app in the App Store for the Android. I know that for Apple products, I know that there's like no vaping apps on Apple's iOS whatsoever. So I know that you can download the app on an Android device, but not Apple. So basically, I'm on my desktop right now, which I very seldom use. Now, to navigate this site, like I said, it's very simple for you new guys out there. You have a flavors button, recipes, and more. So this right here, if I hit the flavors, well, let's take you right here first. Let's go to this is my flavor inventory here. But if you click on just this big icon right here, all the flavors, it'll take you to the main screen of all the flavors. Now, what this does is it will give you the popular new recipes that mixers in the community share to the public on this platform. Okay, so actually that's pretty cool. Folk Art's actually he's one of the popular new recipes. We were working on a cinnamon challenge. He has a cream cheese filled French toast, I think it was.
Yeah.
He submitted this recipe, I think, yesterday for that challenge. So this will give you the popular new recipes that are out there in the community. It'll give you the popular 24-hour recipes that were out there in the community. Over here, it'll give you suggested recipes. Now, I think the way this works, there's an algorithm that set into the software, the program, and I think it kind of maybe bases it off of your flavor inventory on what you have, and it gives you suggested recipes that you can actually mix. It'll give you popular recipes. I know this one from Chris DVR. I know that this is a huge recipe for him. I think it has probably over 60, 70,000 hits.
Yeah.
This is a good recipe. Sugar cookies and cream. You got Dinner Lady by Daz Cole. He's another extraordinary mixer from the UK. Also, you got Skittles. He's awesome. You got the God Milk out there. Not So Charles Manson. You know, this is basically just a dashboard. Now, this icon right here, this will take you to your flavor stash. Okay, you hit flavors on it, and it'll take you to all the flavors that you have in your stash. Okay, now what you want to do is there's a vendors button up here on the left-hand side. So I'm going to click on this and say the 25 flavors that we told you guys is, hey, these are some of the staples that the guys in the DIY community use. You know, you can just type in, say, custard, and then basically what'll come up, it'll give you all the custards that are available or the ones that he has entered into the system. Now, I don't know if we posted it yet, but we do have a key for you new guys out there in the community that will tell you what manufacturer it is. So FA actually stands for Flavor Art. So this is Flavor Art Custard. MB stands for Mullenberry. CAP stands for Capella. TPA is the Flavor Apprentice or the Parfumer's Apprentice. Same thing all the way down. Wonder Flavors. Triple O is One-on-One. You know, all the way down. Vape Train. You know, all these guys down here. This is all the flavors, you know, when you type in custard. And basically all you got to do is you got to click this little button here, and it'll add it into your inventory. Okay. So now, yeah, it's really simple, really easy to use. That's if you want to inventory your flavors, you can do that. You don't have to, but it's good to keep track of when you get an invoice in the mail, say from Bull City Flavors or DIY Vapor Supply, you can go in there, you can type these in, and you can add them into your inventory. Now, I know that there's a new function also where Q made it to where you can import your invoice from Bull City Flavors directly into your ATF account, and it will allow you to upload all those flavors that you got sent to you. Now, basically, this is
David.
Yes,
I
sir.
just wanted to say something about the inventory. I suggest inputting your inventory in there because later in this kind of tutorial, we're going to show you a feature that is a really cool feature if you have your inventory typed in there or checked.
Okay. So now this right here, this is now I went to the next icon here. This is the recipes. Now, if you look up top, this just shows you all the e-liquid recipes that are found on ATF. It's a catalog of every mixer that's on here. Roughly, last time I checked, I think there was roughly 9,000 DIY e-liquid mixers on ATF, around that number. But this shows how many recipes that are public for you guys. So when we say go out there and look for guys that have 4-star recipes, this, that, and the other, this is what we mean. Go on ATF, look at some 4 or 5-star recipes. If you think that they will be appealing to you, and all you got to do is we'll take this one right here. What is it? Hideous. I can't even pronounce that. Barista. The Hideous Barista. Okay, so basically this is a simple caramel brulee frappuccino you will receive from your local barista at your favorite coffee house. Enjoy. So this is from Zesty Vapes. Actually, Zesty Vapes, that's funny because Zesty Vapes is a very well-known mod reviewer out there in the community. So this is one of his recipes that he had posted. It must have been recently. All you got to do is click it on here, and the recipe will come up for you. And this is one of the reasons why I like this recipe, because it gives you everything condensed. Like I said, I use this on my cell phone. It's not as big like on a cell phone. It kind of condenses it down for you a little bit. It's not as big on a cell phone, but it's pretty much the same thing. It gives you all the percentages right here on what's in it, like your flavor concentrates. Okay. It gives you the vendor, like TPA. Like I said, it's abbreviation. So basically the percentage here, he used 2% of TPA Bavarian cream. So TPA is the flavor apprentice. This is what he used as one of his ingredients. And all the way down, FLV Brulee, all the way down. Now, it'll give you comments on the recipe, this and that. It'll tell you what it is, blah, blah, blah. And then there's keys up here. It'll tell you to go to Facebook, mix, and then it'll tell you can copy it, okay? So now you can hit this function if you want to mix this recipe, okay? And then this will come up and it'll give you a dashboard. So there's a built-in calculator into this application on alltheflavors.com. Now, it's very simple, straightforward. So going back to, I'm not going to switch cameras, but going back to when we talked about Liquid Barn, the liquid nicotine, we use 100 milligram. Like I said, you guys don't have to start off with 100 milligram nicotine if you don't want to. And the very top right here, okay, it'll tell you can click on a spot and whether or not you're going to use nicotine. So we're going to use nicotine in this recipe, so you want to keep that checked. The strength of the nicotine, okay. So I use 100. So we're going to keep this at 100. And this is kind of set up because I'm signed into my account. This is what I make my recipes at. Now, your VG-PG ratio of your nicotine. And this goes back to saying you can get different ratios if you want. I personally use 100% propylene glycol nicotine. I know Folk Art uses 100% vegetable glycerin nicotine. It just depends on what you want to use when you're creating your recipes.
Double
so,
O.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I'm thinking David may be just a little confused. Do you have any questions so far, David?
Yeah, start over. No, I'm kidding. No, we're good. No, I'm following very closely.
So basically, like I said, I use, like, if you look at this BG/PG and percentage, okay, this right here is what your ratio of your nicotine that you get from your supplier. So like I say, I order my nicotine from Liquid Barn, okay. I use a 100% propylene glycol based nicotine, okay. So the nicotine is suspended in propylene glycol. So what you want to do is you want to put in 0 for that because there's no vegetable glycerin in it, no VG, okay? And I want to use 100% propylene glycol or PG because this is what I'm using to mix. Now, if you were using...
That goes for that.
Correct.
So you can do a variation of both.
Correct. Now, if I was to order, say, 50, I'll just type in 50 right here, and you see how this little icon down there starts, it shifts everything around, and we'll get to that in a minute. So we're going to use, like I said, we're going to use 100 milligram nicotine.
One question.
Yes.
Just for those that are following us, and this might be going a little fast, is there any, we can come back to this later also?
Yes.
On your own time?
Yes. This is This is live. You can come back to the show. You can rewind it as many times as you want. This is why we're doing this live, and you guys can come back on YouTube and you can replay this video 1,000 times if you want to.
Thank you.
So, like I said, you got the nicotine strength here, the VG/PG ratio. Now, you can also use a 50/50, but like I said, I'm not going to confuse you. I use 100 PG. Okay. Now, depending on what strength that you want to go, okay, I vape a 3 milligram nicotine. Now, there's people out there that vape 24. There's people out there that vape 18, all the way down to 0. My preference on my nicotine level on where I'm at in my vaping is I vape a 3 milligram nicotine. So you just punch in what nicotine you want, which is 3, okay, and what VG/PG ratio that you want. Now, this is that when you're going to be doing somebody's recipe, just do the recommended PG/VG ratio that they have. Or if you guys are coming off of, say, commercial juice, for instance, and when you go to a vape shop and you're always buying when you hear that term 80/20 or 70/30 or 75/25, that's what this is right here. You can customize your ratio.
I have a question.
Yes.
I like to blow. I don't, maybe stupid now, but I throw big clouds. Is there any variation between the two? That
yes.
I was always told.
So like I said, this is a 75/20/25. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the flavor, a little bit of clouds, but you can adjust this. Now, to answer your question, the higher the VG in your recipe, the more vapor production that you're going to produce.
Yeah.
That makes sense to you. So, like Folk Art, for instance, he's max VG, or because he has a propylene glycol sensitivity or a PG sensitivity, so he maxes out all his VG. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you want to, go ahead, Folk Art.
So click on the max VG box there and show him what happens.
Where we at here?
Where it says finish batch too, max VG.
You might be seeing my whole screen. I'm not seeing it.
Just right. Yeah, that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that takes out the VG/PG ratio. Now you're mixing max VG.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, does the variation between, if you're using like max PG or anything like that, does it variate the amount of nicotine use, or
no? This is where the calculator comes into. Now, depending on what percentages of flavor that are in a recipe. Now, let me scroll down here at the bottom. We're kind of getting ahead, but if you look down in here, this is the Nick base, and let me go back to get rid of this max VG because I don't do max VG. I make all my recipe 75/25. But if you look down in here, the base PG, okay, his total flavoring in this recipe right down here, he only uses 9.5% flavoring. And like I said, 90% of the flavors that you're going to buy from Bull City or that you're going to buy from DIY Vapor Supply are suspended in propylene glycol. So this calculator works out all those figures for you. So that way you don't have to do it, whether or not you want to do a max VG recipe to blow super clouds, or you can tailor it to what you want. Yeah. If you want more flavor in the recipe, you can bump up that propylene glycol. If you want, more clouds, you can bump up that vegetable glycerin. But this is where I go, depending on whose recipe I make. It doesn't matter. I like a 75/25 ratio. I like a 75%, vegetable glycerin, 25%.
No matter what the recipe is,
that's me. Everybody's different. Once you start getting into mixing and you start making your own juices, you'll know what works for you. Okay. You'll say, okay, well, this is what I like. So I'm going to, but it depends. Like you might, when you start getting into advanced mixing and stuff like that, there's certain things. I mean, that's kind of out the window right now. That really doesn't matter. But it just to kind of like remember. So yeah, okay. I remember when Shake and Vape said that when I buy a commercial juice from a brick and mortar, I buy an 80/20, or I buy a 90/10. That's basically all this button is right here. It just tells you what your ratio is. Yeah. And then the next slot down, it'll tell you how much you want to make. Okay. Going back to the brick and mortar commercial juice, when you go to the vape shop, you buy 30 mils, right? Or 30 mils or 15 mils, or if you buy online, some places are 50 mils. But usually the mainstay, when you order bottles from Bull City or whatever, you order a 30 mil bottle. So you're going to make a 30 mil batch. So all you got to do is type in 30. This is how much juice you want to make here.
And every time you type in something different, the calculations change down below you. So it automatically does it for you.
So it takes all the mathematics out for you.
Exactly.
When we first started mixing, I had to do this shit on paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this takes all that crap out of there for you. So it's, like I said, it's very simple for you guys to use. So before we scroll down into the flavors here, to go back, basically we're using nicotine strength. I use 100 milligrams, so you plug in 100. VG-PG ratio on the nicotine, I use 100% propylene glycol. So I put 0 and then 100, okay? And then the strength of my nicotine, what I want in my finished product is a 3. So you type in 3. My ratio, 75-25, type that in. And the amount that I want to make in the finished product of the juice is 30 mils, okay? And it automatically calculates everything for you. Now, say if I wanted to make 120 mils, okay? As you see, I'm backing up and you see the icon getting goofy there. There's nothing in there, so everything's 0. I want to make a 120 mil batch. Okay. It's thinking, it automatically calculates everything for you. Boom, you're done. Okay.
Sweet.
So we'll go back to the 30. Okay. So now what this does, like I said, and now what I like about this is it's kind of in your face and easy for new mixers to understand. It goes back to where we were talking about mixing in weight or mixing by volume. It gives you both. This G here stands for grams. So this is, if you decide you want to mix by weight, you go by every one of these numbers down here, okay? Now, if you're mixing with syringes, you go by this number right here. This is milliliters. So if you're using syringes, you go by all this down here with syringes, okay? And this just goes back to the percentages that he used in the recipe. So he's using, so if you're mixing by weight, you want to measure at 0.6 grams on your scale and just keep on going down. Grab your FLV Brulee. He went 0.6 grams. TFA or TPA caramel, the Flavor Apprentice caramel, 0.75%. Flavor Art meringue, okay, that's FA, it stands for Flavor Art, 0.15 grams, and just keep on going all the way down the list. Now,
so it pretty much differentiates in the
it tells you, and it goes back to this number over here in this column. Right. So 2.5%, okay? So when he uses 2.5% caramel in this recipe, okay, he used 2.5% caramel. This takes you back up to the percentage of the total percentage of what's in that. And like I said, the calculator figures out how much weight of that specific concentrate that you have to add into the bottle, okay? So, and then you scroll it. Once you tear your scale, we'll get into working a scale in another episode. But once you get all your flavors down in there, it'll tell you how much base nicotine or free base nicotine. Well, there's other nicotines, but we'll just say your nicotine base goes back to the nicotine. It'll tell you how much nicotine that you're going to have to add. So once you add all your flavors in, okay, you're going to use 0.3 grams of nicotine, drop it in your bottle, hit tear, go to the next. Propylene glycol, I wanted a 75-25, okay? And 75-25, it asks for 3.89. Now, say if I wanted to go, like you said, a cloud blowing recipe. Now, remember this number here, the propylene glycol at 3.89. That's right, it's hard for me to see. So 3.89. Now, just to show you what this does, like I said, to kind of make it like, okay, I get it now. I want to make a 90-10. Well, you can't make this mix because I'm using 100%. We'll do an 80-20. And it'll tell you if you can't make like and that's why it's like if you want to do max VG, you can hit that max VG button. So say if I want to make an 80-20, okay, it'll let me make it. So 3.89, remember, 75-25. Now, if I want to do an 80-20,
okay,
it dropped it down to 2.3.
Yeah.
Okay, so it automatically calculates everything for you. Okay, right. So then all you got to do, like I said, if you're doing by weight, pop everything on a scale, do the drops into the bottle, put the nicotine, top it off with propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, put the cap on it, shake it up, you're done.
Shake it up.
Same thing goes if you're mixing with syringes, just get the amount. This is let me go back to my camera real quick. My other camera, just to show you. I'm gonna if I do that, it'll drop off. But it's kind of probably hard for you guys to see at home because I'm on screen share. All you do is the varying cream is 0.6. All you do is you dip this into the bottle, take it up to 0.6. That's it. Take it over your bottle, squirt it in your bottle, move on to the next one. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Easy, guys. Very easy interface. You know what I mean? There's a lot more things. What I suggest, I think we're going to give you a little bit of a homework assignment. David,
yes. There was one other feature that I did want to cover.
Yes, I was going to cover other features, but go ahead. You can do the rest.
Well, I was just going to explain why it's important, I think, to input your inventory into all the flavors. If you go over to the menu, David.
Yes.
I'm sorry, 00.
Yes, go ahead.
And click on what can I make? Now, this is a feature that I really like. Once you have all of your flavorings in your inventory, it'll give you a list of recipes that you can mix with the flavors that you have in your inventory, which is really cool. You know you've got them.
Half of my flavors aren't even in there, but I could still make 293 recipes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once you have 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 flavorings in your inventory, you have access to a vast amount of recipes to try out and mix.
All the way down. All these pages of recipes, and all you got to do, and just so happens I can make DMC's challenge. Whose one's it? This is from Chemo. This is my buddy from Australia. This is his cinnamon challenge that he decided to do for us this week. And all you got to do is, like he said, what could you make? All these recipes come up. All you got to do is double click on it. Okay. And then it'll come up for you. And then same thing. It tells you a little bit about the recipe. It says you can enter all this stuff in. And this is the homework assignment that I'm going to give you, Dave, for you to go in and, navigate. It's going to be navigating this site. Okay. So basically same thing. It tells you all the percentages that were in the recipe, all the flavor vendors down here. Okay. And then all you got to do is you click on the mix button and then basically, go through the video and do the same thing. Nicotine strength, what percentage of PG or VG you have in your nic, what strength you want, 80-20. Okay. I want to make a 30 mil. Walks you through. Pretty much cut and dry, real easy. There's a lot more features on this, guys, for you new mixers. These are just the basic functions of this site right now. But it's just enter your 25, 30 flavors that you get when you first start into your inventory. And just the basic functions right now that are easy for you to understand. I mean, play with it for 15, 20 minutes, and once you learn how to navigate it, it's like second nature, and it's an awesome platform for new mixers to just not have to really, it takes the guesswork out for you guys when you're making the recipes to make sure that they're safe. Now, like other features, you can click on the star. That means you can follow a mixer. There's just a ton of different features. I mean, it actually has emails. You can email, it has like a special server where you can email other mixers on the site. It has different settings that you can put in there, your flavors. You can do batch testing. I mean, and real quick though, I'm going to just click on this top function right here. And then we'll get out of here for today, for today. So as far as recipe creation for you guys for new mixers, we'll take what's that one recipe, folk art?
The mustard milk.
Mustard milk, yeah. Was that by Fizz Mustard? So basically, if you want to create, we'll just do a strawberries and cream, and this is going to be his recipe. All you got to do is click on new recipe, okay, and then this will come up, okay, and it'll automatically. You could put in some name like whatever name you like dickhead, whatever recipe you want to call it, you name it. You know what I mean? And then all you got to do is this little box down here. All you got to do is hit the plus and then type in the flavor that you want. And what is the strawberry he uses in that?
TPA strawberry.
Okay, so we'll just type in straw.
And this is a neat feature too. If you have your flavors in your inventory, if you have that flavor in your inventory, it'll have a little star right beside of the name.
Correct. Correct. So you want to scroll down to TPA strawberry, click it, and you go over to this little box here with the 0.0, and what's the percentage on that?
6.
So all you gotta do is input a 6, and then go back up here, hit the plus sign, go to the next one, and what's the next ingredient in that?
TPA vanilla bean ice cream.
Okay, so we'll type in vanilla. Okay, TPA, that's vanilla gelato. Where is it at? Here it is. That's Capella. There it is. TPA vanilla bean ice cream. You just click on that, automatically comes up. And what's the percentage on that?
That's 8%.
Type in an 8, and that's it. And then you can put, it gives you the status, and this is the stuff I want you to navigate through for your homework assignment, kind of like navigate the site. This is the stuff I want you to learn. You could do recipe in progress, original recipe. You could put a description on there if you're working on it. Like,
the in progress status, is that something that you're building on yourself? Was that why you would put in progress?
Correct. Yeah, correct. Because this is the thing about this. You don't have to share this recipe.
Right.
Okay? So you got these 2 ingredients in this recipe. Simple recipe.
Right.
You can put done. You can click this box in status. Original recipe, yes. Write a description. Put in strawberry. This is a strawberry cream. Okay. And then I didn't type it, but that's okay. And then you can either share this recipe, searchable, blah, blah, blah. If you don't want nobody to see this, and this is just for you, keep those all blank, do this, blah, blah, blah. You could type in a shake and bake, best after how many days steep, temperature, what best VG it is. You could put tags, all this shit in here. And then all you do is you go back up here and you hit save and mix. So all you got to do, hit save and mix, and then it'll pop up just like it was just with the recipes that we showed you before.
Yep.
Okay. Usually 9 times out of 10, it automatically keeps the same numbers in that you have for your nicotine strength half the time. Sometimes it doesn't. It gets a little glitchy. Same thing. Now that you typed all this in, real easy. TPA strawberry, 1.8 grams. That's 6%. If you're making a 30 ml batch, 1.8 grams of strawberry, you're using 8% of TPA vanilla bean ice cream, 2.4 grams on a scale. This is your nic, 0.93. PG base, 0.93, VG base. That's it. And you're done. I mean, real easy, real easy.
Yeah, it's real easy. It's real easy.
So basically, in a nutshell, guys, we just wanted to kind of walk you through the platform that we use when we mix day in and day out. Like I said, DIY Mixers Crew believe that this is probably one of the best, if not the best platforms. I love it. I use it day in and day out in my mixing. It's a very easy to use interface for new mixers as well as advanced mixers. It offers a lot. I know that there's a price tag on it for like $1.99 a month, but like I said, for that $2, to me, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah,
it's not cluttered in my opinion. It's easy to understand. It allows you to store your and this is some of the things I want you to look into. You can store your flavors. I mean, there's actually functions in there to where you can punch in on how much you paid for the flavor, and it'll tell you when you're getting low. When you're making a recipe. I mean, this is how this platform works, and I really enjoy it and I love it. And that's why DIY Mixers Crew think this is probably one of the best, if not the best, platform out there for mixers to use in their mixing. But other than that, that's all I got for you, Dave, today. That's all me and Folk got for you today. I think your homework assignment, pretty much just real easy to navigate. Go in and navigate. Learn some of the functions that we talked about in today's video. And then give us feedback on, okay, yeah, hey, I learned how to do this, or
right, yeah, also has my experience,
or I learned how to do this, I learned how to do that. Yeah, this is pretty cool. and then just give us feedback on how do you feel how easy it was for you to use.
This kind of breaks it down a little bit to a more understanding. I can understand it a lot better now. I was so confused before. It's kind of breaking it down as we go, so I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's straightforward. Once you surf it for a little bit, you're good to go. Other than that, guys, for you novice mixers out there, I hope you really enjoyed this program today. We kind of broke some things down for you guys, a little bit better than last week. I know we threw a lot at you last week. I tried to recap on that stuff at the beginning of the show. And then pretty much today, we just learned a mixing app and a website for you guys to really start, punching in your flavors, getting used to the PG-VG ratios, some of the stuff that we're going to talk about in future episodes. Real quick, guys, if you guys have any questions, make sure you can reach out to us on our Facebook page. We have a Discord app, and we also have a 24/7 live Zoom room. If you guys, there's always mixers in there. We'll have those posted in the comments below after the video. A link to our Facebook page, Discord, and to the Zoom room. Other than that, that's all we got for you today, guys. Make sure you check out the Stopgap Show with Graham and Pippa. Her show, Stars and Clouds, awesome show. Comes on at Mondays. Stars and Clouds comes on at Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. And we will catch you guys. You guys have a good Thanksgiving, and we will catch you this Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time when we have our regular show and with all the crew, and we just talk about all kinds of stuff. Other than that, that's all I got, guys.
Hey, guys, if anybody wants to find out where to purchase everything, and all the links and everything is in the description below the live feed here, so check them out.
All right, let me
get that and blow some clouds.
Yeah, awesome clouds, man. Awesome clouds. Hey, you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey tomorrow. Learn them flavors. Learn this calculator, guys, because we're going to be testing you next week.
Yeah,
that's all I got, man.
Let's do it. Right. See y'all later.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Chuki beat.